Hi guys, welcome. This is part 2 of my mediumship questions series. So we're going to be answering, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 7 questions. So let's just get into this. So question number 7. What was the first sign that led you into mediumship? I love this. So the first sign, oh my gosh, I had to go back into because I haven't been doing mediumship work for 10 years. But I've been reading people for 10 years. So I've been on this journey for a while. The first sign that led me into mediumship, I think it was so when I got into tarot in 2012 and I was teaching myself, I always knew what a mediumship was. I always thought mediumship was you had to be born with the gift or, not everybody could do it. That was my understanding of it. And then later on, as I was following people on Instagram and following other mediums, and I just always saw it as oh, I would love to do that one day. And then I realized you could do it. You don't have to be born with the gift. Some people are born with it and some people develop it later on. We all have this ability. And not everybody, we think of it this way. We all have the ability, but we don't all want to do it. So what was my first sign that led me into mediumship? It's kind of actually the first thing that actually really, my very first traumatic loss was my brother. When my brother passed away, I felt my mediumship open up. So I've always known of mediumship. I've always wanted to do mediumship. I always looked at it as the ultimate, oh my gosh, if I could just become that kind of a reader, I would love it. And then when my brother passed away, woo, do you see that? Did you see that orb, you guys? So when my brother passed away, I really started to feel myself open up. And a lot of my signs were from him. I literally have a journal that I bought with the $25 gift card to Barnes & Noble, little gift card that he had in his wallet. My mom gave it to me and she said, this was his. Do whatever you want with it. And I was I knew that purchase had to be perfect. So I bought myself a journal with that gift card from him. And it was to me, it was a little gift. And so in that journal, I wrote every single spirit encounter or sign from spirit or angel number or whatever that I experienced that full year after my brother passed away. And it's so special and I still have it. So I would have to say my very first sign that led me into mediumship was my brother passing away. It really opened me up. And it allowed me to have this beautiful connection with him and to feel closer to him. And it helped me go through my grieving process a little bit easier because I was still able to feel him with me. So really sweet. So thank you, my love, for asking that question. That was beautiful. I'm sure there was other experiences way before, but the one that really stands out was that one. So number 8, connected to an evil spirit or a soul who was not a good person. Have I ever connected to one? So, okay. And here's where I have to say disclaimer. I do not believe that I don't believe there's an evil soul. Yes, there are serial killers and murderers and rapists and all of the above. But I feel ultimately someone's life choices, someone's who they are is automatically it's a lesson. When you can step outside all of that and you look at our souls as we're here on earth to learn lessons, and those people failed their lessons, obviously. There was something weird there, or they had traumatic life growing up, which it's not an excuse for what they do, but everyone's life is different. When you look at all of that aside and you look at the light, our soul, their soul will still be filled with love and washed away clean and a redo over, and they will have to come back and redo life all over again to either learn their lessons or fulfill some purpose that they didn't fulfill in the previous lifetime. That said, in my experience so far doing mediumship, have I ever connected to an evil soul or someone who was not a good person? I don't like to, share my sessions because they are done with confidentiality, but I will say I have connected to loved ones in spirit who maybe didn't live a 100% positive life, okay? Meaning maybe they didn't have a really good connection with their child. There was one I remember where she didn't have a good connection with her father in spirit. But they actually were able to mend a bond through the mediumship reading. I also connected to somebody else who, they weren't a bad person, but they were actually murdered. So the vibration of that murder passing was coming through in the reading, and you could really feel that, that anger, like that anger of like, my life was taken from me before it was meant to be, So I wouldn't say like that's necessarily connecting with an evil soul or a bad person. What it feels like is you just like the same feelings that you get here on earth. Like when you feel a negative person around you, it feels like that in spirit. But they're not going to harm you. Like they don't harm you. So the short answer, have I ever connected to an evil soul? I don't like to use the word evil. I really don't believe in that. Or a lower vibrational spirit. Yes, I have. Number 9, how do you connect with spirits who don't speak the same language you do? So short answer, there's no language barrier in spirit. It's like if your loved one spoke only Spanish or only, French, when they go to the spirit realm, when they're of the light, it's light language. It is, the universal language. So they could speak to you. They could speak to you in any language the medium, the messenger speaks. Because really, like in the spirit realm, it's not, we don't have bodies in the spirit realm. It's all telepathic, so it's thought. So if there is a loved one in spirit who did not speak English, or they don't speak the language that your medium speaks, there's no language barrier. Like they will still be able to relay message. That said though, I have an interesting thing to say about that is I have had quite a few loved ones in spirit who would come through, and I can always tell if they don't speak English as their first language, because they usually come through to me as very quiet, like I get the feeling of like they're not very chit-chatty, like they don't talk to me that much. And sometimes I'll say that, and then the person will be like, oh, but they talked a lot, So then I'll ask the question, was English their first language? And usually it's no. For most of them, it was no. And usually for me, it's like Spanish speakers are like that. They come to me like that. So it's kind of funny to me. And I get that often, but I have been able to connect with loved ones who spoke only Spanish with no problem. So you don't need to speak the language. Number 10, can anyone be a medium? Yes. So the answer to that is yes, anyone can be a medium, but not everybody wants to. You do not have to have the gift. You don't have to be born special, all of that silly mumbo jumbo that people say. Anyone can be a medium. Anyone has the power to connect to their loved ones in spirit. We all have that ability. But only so many people will want to go through the training and the development to actually do it professionally. So that's the difference. Okay. But yes, anyone can be a medium. Number 11, how do you relax and get grounded so you connect? I have anxiety. So they have anxiety. So first things first, I would definitely say if you have an anxiety and you go into the work of mediumship with an anxiety, you're going to have a really, really difficult time. You really need to learn to quiet your mind, to be in a comfortable, relaxed state. This is an unpopular opinion, but I am of the belief that if you are sick, if you are physically sick, like you have a cold or a flu, don't do readings when you're sick, because you're doing a disservice to your client. When you're sick, you're not fully 100%. And if you're not fully 100%, you're not going to be 100% to relay messages to your clients. And the same thing goes too with our mental wellness and our mental health. If you're having a bad day, if your mental health is having a bad day, it's probably best to take a break. And I have to do that too all the time. I have days where I am just not in a good mental state to hold space for anyone. So if you are experiencing a lot of anxiety, I would recommend don't do mediumship when you're in that mind space, that head space, okay? That emotional space. It won't be good for you. Like, just, you need to be in a clear energetic state to be a clear messenger for spirit, okay? Because, and I say this because spirit will give you messages through them. So they will tell you, like you will sometimes feel in your body illness, or you'll feel anxiety or panic because spirit is feeling that. They are showing you a message. So if you're already going into your reading sick, or mentally not feeling good, or anxiety, or just not in a good space, how are you going to know the difference between yours and spirit, right? So that's why I say that. So how do you relax and get grounded? Meditate. Easiest answer ever. Meditate. Meditation. You need to be in a meditative practice on a weekly basis with mediumship. And it doesn't have to be like long meditations, but at least 5-10 minutes each day. Meditate at night. I meditate at night. It helps me sleep. Sitting in the power, get comfortable with your energy. And then also do activities that ground you or just make you feel calm. Go for walks, be in nature, do art, write, read books, take a nap, meditate prior to a session, whatever helps you feel better. Those are the things that you need to do more of in your life, to be a good, stable, firm foundation for mediumship. Number 12, have you ever connected with little ones that have passed? Was it hard for you emotionally? So have I ever connected with babies in spirit or children in spirit? Yes. Was it hard for me emotionally? Yes, sometimes. It depends on the messages that come through, the topics. I've gotten emotional in sessions. Yes, I'm a very sensitive person myself, so I can cry real easily. And I think most of my clients kind of know that about me. I have no shame. Like, I don't care if I'm crying in front of a person. Like, if it happens, it happens. So I think because I'm so emotionally free that way, it doesn't really bother me if I do become emotional in a reading. Sometimes the energy of spirit that I'm connecting with is so strong, and I will feel the remorse, or I will feel like the need for forgiveness, or just that love so powerful that yes, it will bring me to tears. But I still get the message across to their loved one. Connecting with children doesn't always feel sad though. Yes, the circumstances could be very heartbreaking for, they're having someone's child pass, but the messages are usually very higher vibration. Children are so high vibe in life that they're the same way in spirit. I have connected with spirit babies as well. So spirit babies, meaning if they never even left the womb, the energy is still very like, they feel like little fairies. Okay. They feel like little fairies. So I often really love to connect with children for that reason, because they do feel so much higher vibration. But yeah, the circumstances is sad, but I don't let that hinder my ability to relay a message. So I hope that answered the question. Number 13, how do you calm your mind enough to let spirit come through? Meditation. So definitely the only way the only way to calm and clear your mind is through meditation. You got to have a meditation practice. There's a difference between meditation and sitting in the power. Meditation is, you know, you're going with a purpose to like receive message from spirit, or to receive message from your guides, or to see a past life, or you're doing a guided meditation for whatever purpose, versus sitting in the power, which is just sitting in silence. Sitting in silence. Sitting in the power, you could play music if you want to. I like to just sit in silence, and you just literally, you guys, this is sitting in the power. You just sit in silence and you focus on your breathing, and you focus on the sounds around you, the traffic of the cars or people walking by, your own breathing. And you practice your energy, like pushing your aura out to feel the room around you. You expand your aura so that when spirit comes through and your aura is expanded and they feel and they walk into your aura, you will feel them. And that's how you start to feel spirit. Okay? If you don't like to sit in silence and you don't like to meditate, you are going to have a hard time connecting with spirit. You have to be in a clear headspace, in a quiet mind space to do this work, because spirit message is subtle, it's quick, it's sometimes a flash of an image, a feeling, a physical feeling, a mental, sometimes you'll hear it or you will smell it or taste it. But if you are not in a clear mind space and your mind is like going 100 miles per minute with your own thoughts, your ego, and you're not in a quiet space in your house and your kids are running around and you're just like, you're paranoid and you're anxious and you're depressed and everything, you're not going to hear spirit. So the first thing you have to do is learn the language of your spirit body, your aura, your energy, quiet your soul, have a space in your house that you could work that is yours and quiet. And once you do that, it'll be easier for you to start to notice a thought that is not your own, a feeling that is not your own. Okay. And then of course, take classes, you guys. If you want to connect and you want to learn mediumship, you have to take classes. You have to be in some kind of community, whether it's online or physically go to a class at a metaphysical place, or someone who's training or mentoring something, because I'm telling you, it's powerful. It is so powerful to work with other people. And then you have to, once you start doing that, then you have to push yourself to practice on people. You cannot expand your mediumship simply working behind the scenes. You have to practice. You have to do that. That's the only way. So I hope that these questions were answered, and I hope you guys received everything that you needed to hear. If you have any other questions or anything you want me to go back on or explain more of, leave me a comment below. I love to hear from you guys. And other than that, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys in my next video very soon. Bye, my loves.